I did my project over the cloud motion detection camera. Alright, so the reason I chose this project is I'm moving into an apartment on my own next year. I don't know any of my roommates, so I could use it in theory to monitor my room whenever I'm away on campus. Or I could leave it at home and use it to monitor my pets, such as my cat here. Alright, so the connection that this project has to the Raspberry Pi architecture is that it utilizes the camera port as an import tool for data. So, so, so by using the camera port and the camera that is plugged into it, it takes in video and images as inputs to see whether or not it needs to record that there is motion detected. If motion was detected, it then goes into the next two connections to the architecture, which first up is network. It needs to connect to the internet in order to upload what it finds to the Dropbox servers. So this is an example of uh, networking, as if it is not connected to a network, it cannot connect to any other servers such as Dropbox servers. Next, then there is the Dropbox uploader tool, which this outputs the data that the camera gathers, uh, and puts it into, and then uploads it uh, to Dropbox, which therefore, which therefore makes it so this is outputting the data to its final destination, while the camera is taking and importing data that it gathers. All right, there are three procedures in this project that I had to follow in order to set up the camera. Notice up the entire motion detection camera. All right, so the first one is the camera itself. I needed to plug in my Pi camera that I got for this project. For me, it was the model version 2. However, there are multiple other versions that work. It works with every camera. Then I had to go to Raspberry config via the terminal. I had to go to the interface settings, and there was a Pi camera legacy setting because all of the instances that are used in this project are actually legacy features that are not normally enabled and available on the Pi unless you go and enable them in the configuration settings. Then you can test different camera commands, which will be shown in the results later. Then there was the Dropbox uploader. This is the process that usually takes the longest. First, you have to download the Dropbox software uploader. Uh, you have to get the Dropbox uploader software. Download it off the internet onto the Pi. Then you have to call the Dropbox uploader uh, to initiate the setup for it. You then need to go to Dropbox itself on their site, and they have an option to create applications that you can connect to your account. And you need to create a application with a unique name. For me it was something along the lines of motion camera a detector uploader or something along those lines. Um, and then once you've created the app, it'll give you some information, uh, such as such as in particular there's a security code, a app key, and then once you've submitted those, then you will see a link in the uploader process. If you go to that link, then it'll connect. That's what will match it up with your Dropbox account. And once it is matched up with your Dropbox account, by taking the code that it gives you and inserting it into the uploader, the app is fully connected in the Pi's system, and the Dropbox account are fully connected. Next, you want to go and just make sure that the entire uploader tool is enabled for all Pi users. This because the uploader and motion are considered separate users on the Pi. Then you want to test uploading images with the upload command, which will also be shown in results. Alright, next up is motion. First, you want to make sure that there is a video source for the camera, which is really easy to check. Next, you want to, similar to the uploader tool, you want to make sure that you download motion. And once you do that, you want to configure the settings of motion. You can do this via I'm pretty sure the command of a root etc root motion dot config. And it should take you into the configuration settings. There you can configure and modify any of the settings you want. These include a variety of different possible settings, such as what you want the resolution of the video to be. It can be how often that you want, how many frames it takes for motion to be detected. So it can be 1 frame change, or you could wait until there's 3 frames changed. You can choose how like what the interval for how long like there's a still image for, how long motion is detected for. Um uh there's just a whole bunch of different settings that ultimately are up to you to choose. The most important thing that you need to change though is that you need to modify where the images are captured and saved to. And the main place that you want to move this to is the uploader tool. You want to have it run the upload command whenever it gets an image. Then after that, you want to run motion, and then you want to modify it to where it'll always be active when the Pi is active. Now we have the results. Now here's me going through each step individually and showing what happens. First I do the Raspberry still -o command. And then the name of the file I want to make. We will speed forward a bit because I had to change the names of the files from a previous test. However, here it is. Here's the camera seeing me recording, and now it is saved. Next, I call on the uploader tool, Dropbox uploader, upload. You want the name of the file you're trying to upload, and then the name of the folder you want to upload it to. So in this case, I have the CloudCam folder in my Dropbox that everything should be uploaded to. And if we speed along here, here it is being uploaded, and it is uploaded. Now, next, here we see it actually uploaded into Dropbox, because as we can see, there it is, camera test 7.jpg has been uploaded into the folder. And then next, I run motion. Now, motion is where things went downhill, and I could not get the entire project to fully run. Because every time that I tried, it looks like it is trying to run properly, but despite everything that I tried doing, it refuses to actually run the uploader properly. It wants to create its own new instance of the uploader instead of use the already established one. So here's all the troubleshooting. As I mentioned, I had problems with motion. I spent hours and multiple days trying to figure out what was going on. I could not find what the root problem was. Um, and because it appears that it's trying to run well. I don't know if it's something with the permissions, because I took away and reinstated all permissions. I've uninstalled motion, reinstalled motion, rewritten, deleted my modifications to configurations, fixed and added the configurations back. I could not get anything to work with motion. It looks like it's running properly. It just, instead of uploading, tries to create a new instance of the uploader. However, I had some problems with the camera. It didn't work at first. I solved this by just using a different wire. My camera came with 4 wires. So I had plenty of different wires I could use for this. Then Dropbox also didn't want to register at first. Like I made the app and I did the connection and it was connected, and then Dropbox deleted the app. So I just made a new app. Well, I uninstalled the Dropbox uploader tool. We downloaded it, made a brand new app. The app stayed. connected, it works. The motion just did not work. And then also on 2 different cases, my Pi overheated. This is just a simple fix. All right, so the lessons I've learned for the future is to make sure that I check the wiring for my Pi accessories, because the camera, I spent probably about a day or two just working on the camera alone, not realizing that the wire just was a bad wire. Uh, then and then possibly use more modern examples and guides. There is not much out with the main guide that I used for this. There's not much help that exists. Um, and it is a 6-year-old guide, so some things may be outdated. Maybe motion doesn't work because it's outdated. I do not know. And then lastly, to fix my overheating issue, I can just use a fan for my Pi. That is a simple fix. I just need to get a fan for my Raspberry Pi. So thank you for listening.